All right, let me be honest with you. I've made a big mistake. I just returned from a 7-night cruise, and I booked what I thought was a great cabin. The photos looked amazing. The location, supposedly central. But the reality? A complete nightmare. And today, I'm spilling everything. If you're thinking about booking a cruise, especially for the first time, listen up. Because the wrong cabin can absolutely ruin your trip. From sleepless nights to non-stop noise and even seasickness. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what went wrong with my cabin, what I wish I had done differently, and exactly how you can avoid making the same mistake. Let's dive into the worst cruise cabin I've ever stayed in, and what to book instead. When I first saw the cabin online, I thought I scored a deal. The photos showed a roomy space with a clean, bright design and a big window. Everything about it screamed relaxation. But as soon as I opened the door on board, it was a completely different story. The room felt much smaller, the lighting was yellow and dim, and the decor looked tired and outdated. The carpet had a musty odor, and the furniture looked like it hadn't been updated in a decade. And that large window? More on that soon. I quickly realized cruise lines use professional staged photos that often don't reflect the true condition or size of the room. Those photos are taken at the best angles, often when the ship is brand new, or even digitally enhanced. What you don't see are the scratches, the wear and tear, or what's behind the camera. This was my biggest oversight. I didn't check the deck plans. I thought, it's midship, perfect. But what I failed to look at was what was above and below me. Turns out, my cabin was directly under the Lido deck. Every morning at 5 a.m., I'd hear the scraping of chairs, carts rolling across the floor, and even loud thuds from kitchen prep. It was like trying to sleep under a bowling alley. And at midnight, same deal. The cleaning crew moved everything around, and the noise echoed right through the ceiling. Lesson learned. Always look at the ship's deck plan before booking. If you see your room directly under a restaurant, buffet, pool deck, gym, or even near elevators or crew doors, run. Those rooms are often the noisiest, and you won't know it until it's too late. I'm not exaggerating when I say I barely slept. Even with earplugs in, I could still hear footsteps, chairs dragging, carts rumbling, and occasional yelling from late-night partiers. One night, there was a family with kids running down the hallway, over and over, for what felt like hours. You might think cruise ships are quiet at night, but when you're in the wrong location, it's a whole different world. And the walls? Paper thin. I could hear full conversations from my neighbors. Every laugh, every phone call, even their TV at midnight. At one point, I actually put headphones on just to drown it all out. And I wasn't even near a main walkway. It was just bad insulation and a terrible location. Let's talk about that glorious ocean view cabin. Yes, it had a window. But what the website didn't show was the giant lifeboat partially blocking it. Instead of looking out at the blue sea, I had a perfect view of an orange steel hull. There was barely any natural light coming in, and the window was so dirty I could barely see out of it anyway. This was technically labeled an obstructed ocean view. And while that term was buried in the fine print, it wasn't explained clearly. You'd never know unless you research that specific cabin number online. If you're booking an ocean view room, always look it up on Cruise Critic or YouTube first to see the actual view from that window. Now here's something I didn't anticipate. This cabin was near the front of the ship, close to the bow. And when the ship started sailing through rougher seas, the motion was brutal. Every wave felt amplified. At night, the entire room would creak, groan, and shake. My bedside lamp literally rattled. I don't usually get seasick, but I found myself constantly reaching for ginger candies and wristbands. I even had to cancel a dinner reservation one night because I felt so off. The movement made it hard to sleep and even harder to relax. Midship and middeck are the most stable places on the ship. If you're sensitive to motion or just want a smoother ride, that's where you want to be. Don't make the mistake I did by booking too close to the bow. Looking back, I could have avoided all of this with a little extra research. I should have searched the actual cabin number on forums like Cruise Critic or Facebook groups. A simple YouTube room tour would have shown me the lifeboat blocking my view. I should have reviewed the ship's deck plan and made sure I wasn't below public areas. I also could have called the cruise line and asked about the specific location's pros and cons. Honestly, 5 minutes of research would have saved me from 7 nights of regret. So what are the better options? If you're after quiet, consider a cabin at the back of the ship. Aft balconies are usually peaceful and offer stunning sunset views. Mid-deck cabins near the center of the ship are the most stable and quietest when it comes to motion and noise. If you can swing it, spa cabins are often in more secluded areas and come with upgraded amenities. Another tip? Look for cabins that share only one wall, like corner rooms or those at the end of a hallway. And higher decks, above the lifeboats, tend to have better views and less obstruction. What if you're already stuck in a room like this? First, go to guest services as soon as possible. If the ship isn't full, they might move you. If that's not an option, use a white noise machine app to drown out the sound and bring good earplugs. Talk to your cabin steward. They might be able to help with soundproofing or offer small solutions. And worst case, ask for onboard credit or compensation if the noise or issues are extreme. Will I ever book that cabin again? Not a chance. But I'm actually glad it happened, because now I know what to look for, and you do too. A bad cabin doesn't mean a bad cruise, but it can absolutely affect how much you enjoy your trip. And now, with the right tools, you'll never fall into that trap. Have you ever stayed in a nightmare cruise cabin? Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone. If this video helped you out, give it a like, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next cruise tip. Until then, cruise smart, cruise often, and cruise like a pro.